Hi patrons. Well, I thought I'd try something a little bit different and do a sort of short video. But there's not a demonstration this time, but this time just looking through some of the paintings on the viewers gallery. So I thought I'll just start with the ones that have been done in the last 2 or 3 days. So starting with William's painting, lovely little countryside scene here. I do like all the little details, the fence posts and the little gate there, and just the little touches of white on there. Flowing scene going right through into the distance, and like the shadows just cutting across our lit path here, and our little man and his dog walking off into the distance. That's a nice one, William. Here we got one of Gary's wonderful sci-fi paintings. He did confess, I did ask him in the comments, and he did confess he went a bit overboard with the stars. I think it's something God do. I think it's like when you get all the paint on the. Sometimes I use like a toothbrush, and you sort of scrape the end of the toothbrush, and it just sprays it on like that. And it's a lovely effect, but like when I often do, it's best kept subtle, like most things. But it is a nice subject. So I like all the light. I always love like scenes of dark skies where you can see light in the buildings and then just the stars in the sky. I've always loved pictures like that. This is Ian's morning walk back from the woods with the dogs through the farm and into the village. And it's a very interesting viewpoint. You're looking at it from right from above, a bird's eye view, looking down. I don't know if it was like if you took the photo from the top of a lamppost or something, but it's a very elevated position. But I like the way all the trees have been done. You can pick out the individual trees, which is good. Sometimes I'll be too impatient and I'll just put them all in. Then I'll be just like one big clump, one big blur of trees. But these have come out quite nice. And I'd say the scale might have been lost slightly. I'd say the buildings are slightly too big because if you sort of get the scale right, they would be massive if that was the right scale. But I think that's quite a nice painting, really, to be honest. Back to Gary's wonderful imagination. I noticed in the comments recently someone asked him if he used reference photographs, and he said he just paints from his imagination. Um, but I don't think his wife appreciates them all. But I think we certainly do. I know I certainly do. And I love these big, massive, imposing cliffs. It reminds me of a recent holiday I went on in Cornwall. Um, I can't remember the name of the area now, but you walk along the cliffs. It's somewhere by Hale, and you look down, and there's like a load of seals right down the bottom in this part where you just can't reach. They've got complete peace and quiet down there. I think that's a little boat there, which is a nice little subject. This is Mark's ink and wash. And I do like the way it's been simplified. This is the sort of thing I've been thinking of trying myself recently. Um, but I'd probably be better off doing it like this. Very, very simple subjects. I think I tend to sort of tackle something a little bit more complicated. And what I find, I get halfway through the drawing and I just lose patience and I'll just rush the last bit and then straight on with the paints. And I've sort of lost what I was trying to do really. So I think this one's a lesson for me really. Just keep it as simple as possible. This is another one from Mark, and again I could just imagine just being sat under that tree, like having a picnic or something, just looking at the view. I like paintings like this where you can just see for miles and miles and miles, right into the distance. This is another one of Ian's. What I'd encourage everyone to do, I know some people do with the reference photograph. I know people add the reference photographs, but they'll do it in a separate post. Whereas what I'd recommend is, you see how Ian's attached it in the same post. You can go down, and I'll tell you the advantage of that is, if you click then in the community gallery, if you click on it yourself, you can then click on the right arrow, and you get the reference photograph, and you can just quickly switch between the two like that. It's a great way of comparing the two images. It's a nice reference photograph, and you can see exactly how he's tackled it. Nice. If it was me, maybe I'd try and get these a bit darker. Basically, I always say just go as far away as you can. Stand as far back from the painting. You should be able to see the darks contrasting nicely with the lights. So that's the one thing I'd say. Get a few more darks on the right hand of this edge, and you see where these shadows are coming across, just to make it sort of ping. This is Donald's coastal scene. Reminds me of used to spend a lot of time in Breen, down by Western Way. It's like the sort of closest seaside resort to Birmingham, where I'm from. And it's got this huge, massive beach there. You can walk for miles, and it reminds me of that. I like all the blues in there, and I don't know if these are like friends or relatives, or if they're just imaginary figures. But it just adds a nice atmosphere to this one, I think. This is another one of Williams. Now this is a lovely little painting. Building looks nice. I like the little bit of hint of shadow along here, up there as well, nice and dark. And the tree's very good. The tree's absolutely excellent, as well as and the reflection as well. That's come off. I think that's really nice. And then we're bang up to date here now. Another one Williams posted, same ruin, different place. And if we just zoom in on that one, again, nice composition. I like all the nice sort of variation in colours as well. All these from the yellows through to the greens. You see all the little pebbles on the beach, all these little details, little reflections in the water, the shadows over on the right hand side and the fence posts and whatnot. I think that's a really nice painting I do. So that's right up to date now. I'll try and keep up and just do videos of all of them really, just as a showcase. I mean, when I was a kid, there was a program called Take Heart, with Tony Hart. I think English, British viewers of a certain vintage will know who I'm talking about. He did some lovely paintings, and well, it was like mixed media. He used all sorts of stuff. But probably my favourite part of the whole show was the viewers gallery when people used to just send in their own paintings. And so that's what I want to try and recreate here. So keep posting your work. Great to see what everyone's up to. Um, keep practicing, and I'll see you again soon.